Welcome to the Casey Ingram Show Meet Your Candidate series. No spin, no agenda, no endorsements, just the candidate. Before we begin, I'd like to thank the many listeners who submitted questions for this interview. Several of those questions have been incorporated into today's discussions. Questions are not shared with candidates prior to the interview. If you enjoy the show and would like to stay informed on local issues and elections, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm Casey Ingram. Let's get into it. Kylie Micciche is running for the City of Stuart Commission Group 5. And welcome back to the show, Kylie.
Hello, thank you for having me.
My pleasure. So we'll get right into the questions today. Appreciate you taking time out of your campaign schedule. So, Kylie, what motivated you to seek election for this office, and why should Stuart voters choose you over your opponents?
I think we kind of touched this subject before, but what really motivated me was just kind of getting involved and seeing what was kind of going on within everything. I've seen a lot of developer ties. I've seen a lot of corruption from the state. And then like I said, I'm not someone to complain about something and not do something about it. So when I found myself complaining about it more and more and more, I just wanted to get involved. And this is the best way to make change, is actually running and putting your face up there and trying to do something for the city or the county.
What did
I think what's
Go
what's
ahead.
different between me versus my opponents is you have one that's being very negative. You can kind of see it. It's just kind of wow factor, and I just don't think that's what we want for a city commissioner. And then you have Ayula. She's been in there for 15 years now. She's served her time. I mean, term limits are a thing, and I think she's far past ours. And I just think it's time for the new generation. This is my future. I have to deal with the consequences on the dais longer than anybody on the ballot.
So, what do you believe is the single biggest issue facing the City of Stuart over the next 4 years, and what specific steps would you take to address it?
I really think our water is going to be like the biggest issue. We have so much pollution and it's just getting worse. You have the amount of construction that's going on that's getting into our waterways. We have all of the amount of rain that we're getting. It every time it rains and it floods, all of the sewage is going into our water. There's so many issues with our water, and I think that's what needs to get spearheaded first. We're finally at the point where we're not having any of the discharges into our river. We really, really need to take advantage of that and start working on it.
Growth continues to be one of the biggest topics in Stuart. In your opinion, what is the right balance between commercial business growth and residential housing growth?
Truthfully, and it's crazy because I did a video on this week, and there's really not much that Stewart can really grow. I mean, we can rezone the properties that we already have, of course, which is what I'm against doing. But Stewart really doesn't have much land left to do any kind of development with. We've got 127 acres for commercial. I would like to see maybe the city purchase some of that and preserve it and put it in our conservation. And then when it comes to residential, I don't even think we have 100 acres left for it. We've got mainly multifamily that's left. So maybe, again, if the city could purchase some of that, we can take advantage of maybe Martin County Forever in that. They do a lot of that, and Merritt has talked about bringing that to Stewart. So maybe we can do that. But that's really it. There's no more growth. Everything has already been developed, unfortunately. They've taken everything.
So, on the flip side of that, of course, the City of Stuart can continue to annex properties in, and then also the other part of that is, older properties can be torn down and redeveloped into something else. So it still
Absolutely.
is, I think, an issue in the City of Stuart, even though current parcels are pretty much developed.
Absolutely. It's more we need to stand strong on not rezoning properties and annexing things into our. We already have some. We already took what was part of Jensen. We don't really need any more land. What we have is what we have. I don't think that we need to add anything. And then again, I just think we need to stop the rezoning. We need to have commissioners that have integrity, that are willing to say, no, we don't need to rezone this.
So many residents feel infrastructure has struggled to keep pace with growth. What infrastructure improvements should be the city's highest priority over the next 4 years?
Truthfully, I think our roads are the biggest concern. I think we repave them quite often until they're in immaculate condition. I mean, compared to where I came from in Fort Pierce, there's potholes everywhere. And over here, you notice the difference. It's beautiful. But I think we have a few projects that the state and kind of the county are lollygagging on, and I think don't take as long as they're trying to say they do. I think we need to kind of urge and push for them to be completed a lot sooner. You've got the left turn lane that's going to be added on Canner and US 1. They're saying that's gonna be finished in 2029. There's no reason just changing a light and adding different paint is going to take that long. I think we need to kind of urge certain projects to kind of move along. I seen, today they, put out something about doing some work on Joan Jefferson and US 1, so they're trying to change the intersection there to kinda make it safer for pedestrians. So I think that's the biggest concern. Right now, we have so many people that are moving here for the walkability and the bikeability. Everything is right it's within 10, 15 minutes if you're on a bike. So I think really making that a priority is a big thing. I think we on US 1, we're making the bike lanes bigger, but I would really like to see an effort to separate walkers and bikers completely from the roads.
Boy, that would be really nice. Moving on, do you support the current Brightline station agreement that the county has? City is not a part of that agreement. And do you believe the proposed station location is the best location for Stewart?
No, I don't support it currently. I love the idea of Brightline. I just will never support us taxpayers paying that much or really anything for it. It's a private company, pay for your own stuff. My next biggest thing is I would love to see it where we've kind of discussed before at the Martin County Fairgrounds. The parking is already there. You're able to put people in both downtowns that we have here in Martin County, and I think that would be very beautiful.
Backyard chickens generated a lot of discussion in Stewart. Do you support allowing them within city limits? And how do you balance personal property rights with neighborhood concerns?
So I actually went out to the public and asked them, and I'd say the majority says yes. There's nothing wrong with having them. There's a few people that do say no. I think when you are public or an elected official, it's not really about what we think, it's more about what the public and the people are saying. And so that's what I really took in consideration. There are a lot of people that want to get more information on this. So I would like to see the city hold maybe something with maybe professionals that have chickens or vets that can maybe speak on this manner on it being in a non-rural area. Because face it, city of Stewart is not really rural, it's very city-like. So I would like to have a professional's opinion on this matter. I have reached out to a few, but I haven't gotten anything back just yet. But that's my opinion. I think the majority has said yes, and so if the majority is saying yes, I think we should go with that. I would like to there to be rules on there to be I wouldn't like any more than, like, 5 chickens, no roosters. Roosters are really loud and annoying, and I would really want to see how animal control is going to be able to handle this because that's on a county level. So how are they going to be able to handle, chickens getting out? Because I'm from Fort Pierce, and that was one thing that I hated. There was chickens everywhere. If you go down into what I call ABC City, there's chickens everywhere. And I used to work for a company where we had an agreement with animal control, and they used to bring us chickens all the time that got loose. So I don't want that issue, and I want to know if the animal control that we have here can even handle that.
Okay. The proposed baseball and recreational facilities referendum generated significant public debate before ultimately being withdrawn. Do you believe the issue should have been placed before the voters?
Definitely. It's an issue that I think affects all of us. It's our so I think absolutely we all should have been able to vote on it and discuss it before it just no or yes. I think we all should have been able to kind of discuss it.
So you'd support a similar referendum in the future?
Yes.
What lessons should city leaders learn from the public reaction to that proposal?
What do you mean the reactions?
So
Can you
I
rephrase
think
that
that
question?
generally speaking, people are very disappointed that it didn't go to the ballot. However, there's some reactions that said, "Hey, we needed more information." So it basically was left as a no, and I think that it continues to be discussed even today, not just in this interview, but in the city. So I think it isn't one of those issues that just died because it was voted no. So, what lesson can the commission learn from that?
Think we can probably hold more like workshops. Like I like to hear from professionals. I want to know what their opinions are. I think having the majority of people's opinion is great, but what do the people that actually specialize in this say? So I would have liked to maybe have more workshops and like some of them argued, let's get more information, but let's actually do that. Let's actually have an effort of finding out from people and before we just say no or move on or slash it and never discuss it at all.
A proposed constitutional amendment could significantly reduce or eliminate property taxes in Florida. Do you support or do you oppose that amendment?
I have said this for a while. I think property tax is you truly never own anything. I would like to say that I know the government very well and they're going to get their money somehow. And so I would like to see how they're going to do that with slashing property taxes. I would think they're going to take it from our sales tax. So I think that's a big concern, but I fully support and I will be voting for our property taxes to be eliminated. You should be able to buy a piece of property and not have to pay the government every year for it.
So, if it passes and city revenues decline, what areas of the city budget would you look first to reduce or protect?
Of course, our police and fire need to be protected, but I think one place that I would look into kind of making sure that we're using it efficiently is one of our contracts with people, our contracts with a lot of different companies, especially with our police, are we're doing oil changes that are super expensive. We're renting or we lease our vehicles. I think we can probably purchase ones, and so we're not spending so much money every year on just vehicles. There's just ways that I think we need to be smarter as a business owner. There are plenty of times where I have to cut budgets and you have to pick and choose what you really need and what you want. And I think that's just what we really need to do. Go through the budget. There's a lot of things that I don't think is a necessity. It's just more of a need. We can start cutting those things. There's the repaving projects that we do. There's so many roads that we repave and repave and repave, and they're perfectly fine though. We can go maybe repave some of the roads that aren't perfectly fine or stop the frequency of the repaving. And those are just little things that we can do to just save money. It takes actually being fiscally responsible.
Homelessness continues to be a concern for many residents and business owners. What role should the city of Stuart play in addressing homelessness while balancing public safety, quality of life, and compassion?
So this is one thing that I'm working heavily with. I'm working with 10 City Helpers. I'm trying to work with the Treasure Coast Homeless Council, Family Promise, and a few others. But the biggest thing that the city of Stuart needs to do is designate a place for these people to go. I think that's the biggest role and responsibility that they need to hold. Past that, it's going to take a lot of collaboration with the nonprofits in the area to actually get something going for them. I would really, really like to see a transitional housing. And so I don't mean a typical shelter where just a bunch of people come and stay, anybody from anywhere. I would like to help the actual residents of Martin County, so requiring them to at least live here for, say, a year. When I'm out there working with these people, they are people that grew up here. They're ones that went to school here. They have family here that just aren't able or in a position to help them. And so that's what I want to do. I'd like to create transitional housing and kind of create a program similar to Rena's Elevate Hope, what she does, teaching them financial discipline, making sure that they hold jobs. If they don't have a job, let's connect them with the network of contractors that we have here. We have so many amazing local businesses that need help right now. So we can connect them with that. Let's get them jobs and let's get them transitioned back into society. We have so many good men and so many good women that we can get to use, you know?
Every commissioner brings personal and professional experience that can benefit the city. Based on your business interest, employment, investments, or other affiliations, what types of issues do you anticipate may require you to recuse yourself because of potential conflict of interest?
You're kind of breaking up. You've kind of been doing it the whole time, but I kind of think that you're asking me if I have any kind of
Let me
conflicts of
ask you
interest
again,
when it
because
comes.
let me ask you again, so hopefully it comes through. I don't know why I'm breaking up. That's very strange. Every commissioner brings personal and professional experience that can benefit the city. Based on your business interest, employment, investments, or other affiliations, what types of issues do you anticipate may require you to recuse yourself because of a potential conflict of interest?
I don't really think I would have any other than I think the only thing I would ever have to recuse myself is if it was like pavers or something like that. I don't have any conflicts of interest. I don't work with any developers. I don't really know any of them. There would never really be a conflict of interest. Maybe if it was an issue with like the Stuart Martin County Chamber because I'm a member with them, but those are like the only associations that I have.
Campaign finance has become an increasingly important topic. Have you accepted contributions from developers, contractors, political committees, or organizations that regularly appear before the city?
No, I have not. I'm actually the only candidate on the ballot that raised their funds and paid their qualifying fee with just small donations from real people. So no, I don't take any kind of developer money. I've had a few reach out to me, but I've never taken their money, and that shows in my campaign docs.
Excellent, excellent. If elected, what is one thing you would do to make city government more transparent and accessible to residents?
I'd like to make our website just a little bit easier to navigate now on a phone because if our website is really easy if you're on a computer, but the second you switch over to a phone, everything kind of bugs out. It's kind of hard to find everything. So I'd like to see that kind of easier on the phone. I really think our city clerks, they do a fantastic job at getting information to you when you request it. I've never had a problem with them. They always send it super quickly. So I really love the transparency that we already have, but I would like to see that. We're in a day and age where everybody's just pulling up their iPhone or just their phone and looking at everything on there. Not everybody's pulling out their computer to do that. So I would like to see it easier.
Very true. Why should voters replace an incumbent commissioner with you?
It's again, it's time for the next generation. I don't have a lot of negative things about Oyula Clark to but it's time for somebody to actually do something. She's been in there for 15 years, and we are still talking about the same things that I feel like we were talking about back then. So I feel like if we're still having the same discussions, we're still having the same issues, we're lacking transparency, we're lacking um, in our transportation and our infrastructure, when we're dealing with all the same issues that we've been dealing with for the same years, we kind of have to look at the people that have been in charge for all that time. And that's just it. It's time for somebody to bring in new ideas and an ambition because I am a fighter. I have crawled from the bottom of the barrel all the way to the top.
You kind of just answered this next question, but I'm going to ask it in case you have something more to add. What is the current commission getting wrong that you would do differently?
It's the same things. We need to listen to our residents, stop rezoning things. If it's beneficial to the entire community and the entire community wants it, sure, let's rezone something. But no, we don't need to rezone everything for these fancy luxury townhomes and apartments. Let's stop that. Let's listen to our residents. Our residents want to enjoy our water. They want to go fishing. They want to take their kids out. They want to take their grandkids out. Our water's gross. It looks gross. Let's fix that. Let's make sure that our kids are healthy when they go in our water and when they come out of it. Let's make sure that the traffic is actually taken care of. Let's make sure that the state is doing what they're doing and make sure that the state's doing what they're supposed to be doing and not lollygagging projects that don't take that long. We just need somebody that's willing to just fight a little bit.
So you just mentioned the traffic. That's one of the biggest issues that people always talk about. What are your solutions to alleviate some of the traffic?
In the city of Stuart, the main things that I've noticed is, of course, Canner and US 1. That is the worst light, I think, in the city. And then it's Confusion Corner. Those are some of the major issues that we have. I have actually reached out to a young lady that works with the NRCRA, and she as well professionally fixes and builds and designs roadways. And so I'm reaching out to her to kind of figure out what she would suggest for Confusion Corner because it is so bad. Again, my biggest concern with Canner is we need to get FDOT to just move that project along. It doesn't take till 2029 to get that completed. Let's get it done. And then I've talked to that young lady as well, Bonnie Brown is her name, about what we can do in our residential areas, because that's a huge concern that I've heard in going door to door and speaking to residents is that by these schools, we have people that fly by. And so I don't necessarily support speed cameras there, but we need to do something to one, slow people down. And I would really like our police department to kind of get ready for school time to come back and have people kind of staged there, kind of like Port St. Lucie did with the people that were flying by the buses and everything like that. We need to make their presence known because, yeah, that's the speeding in the residential is a huge concern recently.
What are the top 3 priorities of your campaign?
Our water, slow growth and responsible growth, and our traffic and infrastructure.
What experiences best prepare you to oversee city budgets, development decisions, and public policy?
With my local business and my small business, I've had to learn everything from budgeting. Like I said, there's plenty of times where I have to pull things that I want and put them to the side and just focus on what I need to keep my business afloat and keep everything going. That's constantly something in a business. I think that's a skill that we're really going to need coming forward, as well as I have just simple construction and business skills where you see at the county level, the $74 million for a facility, somebody that's in construction and business like this can quickly point out that that's way overcharging. We don't need stuff like that. Let's go about the smart way of getting a few bids. It's what I do for any project that I'm having. I get 3 or 4 bids. We have things like that. We have an issue where, Eula Clark motioned to sell 50 acres to Ashley Capital for like $1 million. Why don't we sell that property off and for actual value and use that property to go buy or use that money to go buy sensitive lands? And I'm talking about the brownfields with Ashley Capital. And so we just have We need somebody with business skills and actual negotiation and sales skills in there to run things. It's just we would just need to run it like an economy and like a business, and that's just how it should always go. That's how you can run it as efficiently as possible.
So, briefly, Kylie, we did cover this in the first interview, but for folks that haven't watched that interview and are just tuning in on this one, tell us a little bit about your business background.
So I own the only woman-owned paver company. This is I do mainly construction and renovation. So a lot of my work is restoration. So I'm going to places and buildings that are 50, 60 years old and I'm making everything look brand new. So that's one thing that I really, really like to bring is we can make everything look pretty without having to replace everything and demolish everything. You can restore things as well as, of course, I have construction and just business skills. So I'm out there. I when I do installs and everything like that, I don't go based off of a 25-year storm plan, which is what most people are going based off. I go based off of a 50 to 100-year storm plan. And I would like to bring those skills and that knowledge to the commission board.
Okay. How long have you had that business?
I've been in business for 3 years now.
And how many employees are working under you?
For me, it's just me, other than my installation crew. For my installation crew, it ranges based on the size, but there are 6 to 15 people that are on the crew. Other than that, it's just me when it comes to restoration
Out
aspects.
there working hard. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Kylie, various claims and discussions have circulated publicly during this campaign. Is there anything you'd like voters to hear directly from you regarding your qualifications, background, or candidacy?
Truthfully, I've noticed that a lot of things are just misleading and typically downright lies. I've kind of spoken about it on my social media pages. I think people just need to pay attention to the people that are trying to scream things at others that, hey, you're this, you're that, you're this. Because, of course, they have three fingers that are pointing right back at them. I have been an exceptional citizen. The only thing that I've ever done in my life is probably get some speeding tickets when I was young, but I don't behave like that anymore.
When you were young, come on, Kylie.
I know,
You
I'm
don't
just
have
I
somebody
mean
in
when
her
I
mid
was, like, a
50s.
minor. Yeah, I just mean when I was, like, under 18, so I've never really done anything. I've really tried to be responsible my entire life. It's been a hard thing to do, especially with the world that we live in nowadays, but I've really tried to be responsible. I've really tried to stay out of trouble. I've really tried to build my life to be something of quality.
So, Kylie, what's your favorite place in Stuart?
God, I go to so many places. I think the place that I go probably the most often is just downtown. I love to go sit down there. I mean, I've gone kayaking down there. It's beautiful. I love it. It's so much fun. I always see so much wildlife, truthfully, when I'm down there. There's always turtles, there's always snook. I always see them everywhere. You see the tarpon jumping every now and then. It's gorgeous, especially if you go there in the morning. It's just quiet. You can hear the birds chirping. There's nowhere beautiful than that.
What is one word that describes your leadership style?
Ambitious.
If elected, what's the first issue you will ask staff to brief you on?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think I've ever been asked that one before. I guess I would want to understand how our code enforcement works out inside the city a little bit better. I think because that's one thing that I kind of want to use for, our fertilizer and our construction pollution that we do have. So I would want to understand how that operates more.
Why should someone who hasn't made up their mind vote for you?
Again, I am the youngest person on that ballot. I am the one that has to deal with the consequences of the dais the longest. I want to grow here. I want it to be affordable. I want my children, when they leave my home, to be able to afford a house here and not have to move away or anything like that or live outside of the city. I want my family to be able to grow up here and enjoy all of these things. I'm building for my future. And so I can promise you that I'm building to protect it. I am not going to let this place go to crap or to get destroyed or anything like that.
And finally, how can voters support your campaign and learn more about you?
But you can always go to my website. It's www.kylieforstuart.org, or you can find me on social media. You can always look up my name, Kylie Micciche, and both my campaign or my personal page will pop up, and you are welcome to add both of them. I'm open to everybody.
Well, this has been Kylie Micciche. She is running for City of Stuart, Commission Group 5. And folks, I just want to reiterate on every interview, please get out and vote. The vote will be August 18. It
August.
is not
Yes.
August 18, the
No.
primary. All of our positions in Martin County are decided. We always have a low turnout. It's so important to get your voice heard. If you support Kylie or whoever you support, you need to do that on August 18th of this year. So, Kylie, it's
Please.
really been a pleasure here to have you on the program again. Wish you well on the campaign trail.
Thank you so much, Casey. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Don't forget to follow the Casey Ingram Show on Facebook and subscribe on YouTube for more real talk you won't hear anywhere else. I'm Casey Ingram. Stay informed, stay engaged, and I'll see you on the next episode. You know,